Ezekiel sound verse 5. Thus saith the Lord, Yahweh, right through his only begotten son, Yahweh Shah. And evil and only evil, behold, is come. An end is come, the end is come. A watcher for thee, behold, it is come. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, glory, and praises to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shah, by Hashem, Rakakadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well. Shalom to the hopefully like men that scattered abroad, pushing this truth without sincerity throughout the full comes of the earth, right? And also shalom to you very few sincere sisters that's taking heed and getting in order in these last days. I'm your brother, I'm one. Come to the quick lesson, Lord, one's edifying and to the point. Excuse me. I was watching, one of the small clips, but very powerful, clip that one of the bros with the channel, the Hopefully Elect 3 be posting, right? Yeah, how about Shemeshai Barak Thigh, right? And also the water, for the postings. But definitely be in tune, watch, subscribe, and be edified. But the title of it was Stock Up in the Spirit, right? And as this Jake gets on the camera, he's, I'm gonna say, on a percentage base, on the percentage scale, I give it about 25%. He's right, stocking up on certain things. But I say that to say because you don't want to put too much trust in your own self, right? Because the Lord already laid out the foundation. He already said what he's going to do for us, the believers, But this is the time to definitely stock up in the spirit to believe those things to come. So I'm going to play this and I'm going to pause here and there. So you definitely may want to, watch the actual video for the full, for the full clip with no interruptions. Now I stop right there just to go ahead and bring that out, right? Because I just mentioned, briefly spoke about it, but didn't, quote it. But it says Isaiah 33:6, and wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy time, right? Excuse me. Wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy time, and the strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure. So quick thing is, while the world's going to be out here, whooping each other ass on these aisles and running inside other folks' house to get these items, hey, the wisdom and knowledge that we have accumulated over time in this grace period is going to help us out in the times of trouble, right? In the times of food famine, in the times of martial law. We know certain scriptures are going to pop into our minds. It's going to give us comfort. It can give us ease, instead of panicking, So this is what's going to keep us rooted, grounded in the times of Jacob's trouble.
Stock up on food, canned food, water, guns, ammo.
Hey, and it's just through the spirit, man. Stock up on water, guns, and ammo. And that's just beautiful when you see it through the spirit, man. You need to stock up on your Yahweh Shah, which is, that true water, that little water that you need. And these scriptures, man. Scriptures like a two-edged sword. And the more you have, the more ammo you have to fight, because it's not going to be just a 30-minute fight. It's going to be a long fight. And these scriptures is going to, help you battle. Scriptures going to the book of Ephesians chapter 6, 10 on down, and like the scriptures say, we're not carnal people, our weapons are not. They're not the weapons of warfare. It's like I'm misusing it. But our weapons are not carnal. It's like our weapons are not carnal.
And focus on community. Because what's about to pop off is going to be something that we've never seen before.
Right, and it's gonna be all hell breaking loose. Let's get a quick scripture right quick. And like I said, Salaki, I want us to chime in with the scriptures as he go on with his rant. Right, it's Daniel chapter 12 and verse 1. And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince would stand up for the children of thy people. Right, the Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and natives. And there shall be a time of trouble such as never was since there was even to that Slakia. As such as never was since there was a nation, Slakia, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book. Right, we're really going to the elect. You know, the 144,000 of the tribes, and also that 1/3 multitude, man. You know, the Lord wants to have the angels stand up in that time period. You know, but that's why we saying stock up in the spirit, because the more you stock up in the spirit, the more you be able to handle these times to come. You know, you're bracing yourself. That's like, you know, it states in the book of I grab it, second Esdras chapter 16, being ready for that battle. Second Esdras chapter 16 and verse 40. It says, "O my people, hear my word. Make you ready to thy battle, and in those evils be even as pilgrims upon the earth." And I will say that at the balance, you know, we are going to be in a time of Jacob trouble. And not saying that, well, going back to what I first started off with, I was saying, you know, on the scale of what Jake is saying is about 25%. Because, like, yes, you know, it would be smart to, you know, have some extra, you know, cases of water, you know, some extra canned goods, you know, so you don't have to be out and about getting caught up in the mix, you know, but to be solely dependent on going into these warehouses, stealing shit and hoarding and stuff like that. And that's what you're going on, because now you're showing that your trust is not there in the Lord. You know, Scripture talk about how he's going to feed us in that time, man. You know, so like I said, it's about 25% I give on what he's saying is, you know, is correct. Nothing wrong with having actual ammunition at home. Nothing wrong with that, you know. But when you feeling like you Mr. John Wick and you can do it on your own, hey, we're gonna see how that goes up. We're gonna see how that goes for you. See how long you go down that road. Right? So let me go back to that video.
Mark my words. Focus on community. If you don't have friends, find...
Slocking, he said, mark my words, man. Hey, man, if anything, hey, you should be listening to the prophets. You know, starting off with our apostles, man. You know, we've been warning you. Matter of fact, let's grab that right quick. In the book of Amos, chapter 3 and verse 7. Surely the Lord will do nothing, but he revealeth his secret unto his servants, the prophets. Right? We've been telling you about martial law. Hell, hey, Trump is right here in Atlanta right now. You know, and look, hey, hopefully, you know what I'm saying? Hopefully, some shit pop, man. You know, had a little interview saying, hey, all they got to do is call me. You know, and Trump said he's setting up shop. You know, and for him to be here, hey, it won't be no coincidence. It won't surprise me. Hopefully it happened. You know, but we've been telling you about that martial law is going to come, man. A man shall desire to see another man's face, right? A man shall desire to go into another city and shall not be able. We've been warning you that, you know. And I'm going to grab one more scripture right quick. Ezekiel 33 and 33. Right, because this is going to happen. Do let us start hanging on me. All right, it says, and when this cometh to pass, right, these prophecies, in particular this one right here, a martial law, all hell breaking was Jacob's trouble, Jeremiah 30 and verse 7, right? Lo, it will come, right, which we have been warning you. That's why we're stocking up in the spirit to get ready for this terrible time like no other, you know, because it's going to take the Lord to keep us, you know, in these times, man. You know, not what we can do on our own. It says, lo, it will come. Then shall they know that a prophet have been among them, right? And that's when it's gonna, like the dude was saying, mark my word. Hey, mark our word. Really mark the Lord's words, man. Right? Don't forget it. Right? The Lord used his messengers, which is the prophets, to warn us. So when these things come, hey, a prophet was among you. He gave you the warning. He told you, hey, it's time to go ahead and get your helmet, get your breastplate, you know, get your shin pads. This shit about to go down. You know, tell him to stock up in the spirit. Right? Because when that battle is here, it ain't no running. You know, you gotta take that fade. Right? Let me go back to the video.
And a friend. You don't have to like everyone in your neighborhood, but at least know your neighbors. Because you're gonna have to rely on someone. Retirement.
I'm just going to another scripture, man. You know, because he talking about, you know, relying on your neighbors. Hey, when all hell break, hey, we seen that. We seen what happened in the movie Leave the World Behind. You know, when shit got real, hey, I can't remember the actor's name, but you know, but what appears to be the Edomite, what appears to be the Judite man, so-called black man. You see them boys with buddies. You know what I'm saying? But when shit got real, niggas was the enemies. Hey, white man, hey, let them know what it is. Don't step no closer, man. You know? He told him, I'm gonna lay you down from where you at. You know? And it's gonna get real ugly out here for you people that do not know. Right? When shit get real, it's gonna be a real survival of the fittest mindset. Right? So I'm on there's one scripture in the book of Second Ezra chapter. I'm in the wrong book, Salakia. Second Ezra chapter 15, and I think it's verse 19. He said, you know, get familiar with your community, or, you know, rely on. No, man. You rely on these scriptures, man. You know, this is Second Ezra chapter 15, verse 19. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor. See? A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor. What you mean by no pity? You're not gonna be sparing them folks, man. You know, he's not gonna spare them. They got what he need, and he want it. You're not gonna spare him all because you got a toddler, a 3-month-old. Too bad. You ain't that 2-month-old, 3-month-old is finna, you know, bite the dust. You know? A man should have no pity upon his neighbor. Hey, people about to wild out, man. Call all you, how about Shema Shah? Hey, we ready to hear them cries of Egypt, man. Or the firstborns being, you know what I'm saying, X'd off. You know, it's gonna be a scary time, but hey, we know prophecy is steady being fulfilled, and guess what? We only, hey, man, seconds away, you know, to the kingdom. You know, it says, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, right? Which we gonna know that modern day sword gonna be that gun, man. You know, folks finna be getting put down, right? It says, and spoil their goods, right? Taking their shit, man. It says, because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation, right? Jeremiah 30:7, Daniel 12 verse 1. You know, food famine out here, man. Society collapsed. Every man for himself.
Those are gonna crash and burn. 401ks, done. Yeah, doesn't look good.
So kind of slacking. So yeah, that is really it on that. Just had to just bring that out in the spirit, man. Just seeing it, like, you know, I gotta hop on that, you know, and just keep warning the people, man, because we're coming to a time period where it's about to be real ugly. Matter of fact, I quoted it. Most definitely got to bring it out. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 30 and verse 7. Matter of fact, I got a couple more, because gotta bring in that faith. The Lord gonna feed us, man. We ain't worrying about nothing. You know, we're gonna stock up more in the spirit before we stock up more in the flesh. And like I say, there's nothing wrong with having extra items, you know, at your house. That's just the common sense part. But also, don't be no damn target either. It says, Jeremiah 30 verse 7, it says, alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. Right, the elect is going to be saved out of it. We're going to be in the mix of it, but the Lord going to save us out of it, man. You know, the Lord going to intervene at the right time to deliver us out of the situation that we're in. Right? Excuse me. And I also had mentioned about the food, you know, the stock piling up on a lot of food. This is that balance right here. It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 65, in verse 13. It says, therefore, thus saith the Lord, Yahweh, behold, my servants, my servants shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. See, and this is what gives us comfort. This is actually rewards from what? Doing what we're supposed to be doing now. Warning the sheep, you know, getting in order, trying to get as much off our robe, man. Our robe. You know, trying to make it as pure as possible before Lord Yahushua returns, man. You know? So in the time all hell breaking loose, hey, this is like a reward. You know? I want to make sure y'all eat. Y'all stayed down when nobody believed in y'all. You know? It says, behold, my servant shall eat. And we be talking about the food family. We talking about what's the stuff when you eating people cannibalism. You know? This is going to happen. Instead of, while these folks out here eating their kids and their fingers and stuff like that, right? Look and make sure we have good meals, man. Good meals. Right? One of my favorites. I'm gonna come back to this. I think it's Psalms 37. If my memory serves me correct. Is it 19? Yup. I'm gonna read inside the NLT version, Psalm 37 and 19 in the NLT. They will not be disgracing in the hard times. Even in famine, they will have more than enough. Right? Even in famine, they will have more than enough. See, this is a part of staying down for the come up, man. You know, for you worldly folks, you know, I ain't gonna say worldly folks that are inside that, folks that are into that, you know, into that Bitcoin and stuff like that. You know, you stay down, you invest inside this small coin, and then boom, hey, that thing blew up. You know, that thing blew up. You ain't got more than enough. You know, it's about staying down, man. So the Lord, hey, even in famine, they will have more than enough, man. And that's beautiful, right? Going back to leave the world behind. The girl had more than enough on that table, man. Right? So going back to Isaiah 65, and I'm almost done wrapping up after this scripture right here. It says, therefore, verse 13 again, therefore, thus saith the Lord, behold, my servant shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. Right? These ones that did not want to stock up in the spirit. You know? They don't want to stock up in the spirit and get themselves ready for the battle. Right? They want to trust in Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua. They want to trust in themselves. Right? Scripture says there's the way that seems right unto a man, but there are the ways of death. You know? So they're not gonna eat in that day, man. Right? They're gonna die from their body eating itself from the inside out. It says, behold, my servant shall drink. You might have some of the finest yan, right? Which known as wine as well. You know? Hell, some brothers may be together, some brothers may not be together. But the Lord will make sure we straight, you know, having something good to drink. And while you other folks are starving, man, ain't drinking. You know? Like for both thirst, man. Thirst of the word and real drink. You know? It says, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servant shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed. Woo, we're going to rejoice because why? Hey, call all Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Hey, we this much closer, man. Right, the Lord just came through for me. You know? He just what it says in Isaiah 59 and 19. You know, the image shall come like a flood. You know, going into the lift up a standard. You know, should lift up a standard against thee. Hey, going to that standard, going to what? Hey, fly disappeared. The Lord gonna show his miracles in that day, man. You know? We're gonna rejoice in that. You know, but ye shall be ashamed. Why? Because you heard the prophets. You know? You didn't want to get yourself ready. You didn't want to stock up in the spirit. You know? So when these things came, you just got that salty face. I know y'all remember that Kevin Hart stand up when he was like, you had the salt face. You know, you looking like that in Jacob's Trouble, man. When you come across a prophet and he laughing at your ass, man, you know, that's your fault. right? So I'm gonna close off right there. Matter of fact, I'll go to 14. It says, behold, my servant shall behold, my servant shall sing for joy of heart, but he shall cry for sorrow of heart, and shall howl for vexation of spirit. See, that's the thing about it. Laugh now, cry later. You know, this is what y'all gonna be doing, 2/3, right? So we crying out now, so we can laugh later. You know, by staying down for the come up, right? Which is in, you know, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. But Lord willing, this lesson was edifying to the point. I want to give all honor, glory, and praises to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushua, by Hashem Kakadash. Shalom.